Thanks for supporting the channel by clicking the links in the description box. And thank you so much for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And now let's get into this podversation.
In the clubhouse and a part of the conversation, this wasn't about black women. It wasn't about me going against black. Stop. The question was asked about the joke about my daughter and me referencing my daughter having hoe-like activity. I gave an answer to it. Here's what it is, guys. I'm not calling my daughter a hoe. I'm saying what she did is hoe-like activity. I called 3 former hoes that I knew and asked them, is this hoe-like activity? We had a conversation about it, a good back and forth. There was never a black woman and black man back, never. So stop with that false narrative first and foremost.
Here we go, guys. We're going to have a podversation about Kevin Hart. And he has gone viral recently, not because of his Netflix special called 0Fs Given, but it's been more so because of the reaction that people are having to his Netflix special, but the reaction that he is having to the responses to his Netflix special. Because one, a number of people are saying that the special wasn't funny, and then a number of people are saying not only is the special not funny, but he is not funny. But also people are talking about some comments that he made about his daughter, his 15-year-old daughter, who's actually from his first marriage with his first wife, which can rub people a little bit of the wrong way, but let's just get into it. Well, the special is called 0Fs Given, and I can't give you a review on the special, guys, because I didn't watch it, and I don't plan on watching it. I'm not here to bash the man, but I'm just stating from my personal point of view, he's not my cup of tea. I've never found him as a hilarious comedian, and one of the things I love is comedy. I think that comedy is something that can be healing to people's souls, because especially when we live in such a negative world and just a lot of horrible things that go on, going to a place where you can laugh, it can really help to heal a lot of people's hurts. So I found that in my life, comedy has really been a saving grace in my life. Things that make me laugh. And I love to have a good laugh. I don't like to just, have a little giggle here and there. Like, I like to really laugh to the point sometimes where it's like it can make my head hurt. And that's the type of laughter that I expect to get when I'm watching a stand-up comedy special. And I get that. I get that from people like Cat Williams. I've gotten that in the past from Martin Lawrence. I love Martin Lawrence's stand-up, especially his first one, You So Crazy. Like, that is one of my all-time favorite stand-ups. Back in the day, the Eddie Murphy Raw, of course, classic. And of course, Eddie Murphy has evolved and grown over the years, and his comedy style is a little bit different. And Chris Rock, he's got his own flow and his own style, which is funny. And then, you've got Dave Chappelle. You've got so many different stand-up comedy styles that not everybody is the same. And that's what I like. I like a variety. But Kevin Hart, to me, has just never given me that. But it's not to bash him. It's just not been my style. Now, what I will say is that just gonna go a little bit off and give him a little bit of credit. He's been in some things that has been funny, but I wouldn't say that it is because of his comedy. It's just something that he was in. Now, there's this movie that came on way back in the day, and first time I saw it, it was on BET. The movie's called 35 and Ticking. There are a few different people who were in this movie. Megan Good was in the movie, Lunel, the woman who played Tony Childs and Girlfriends, Jo Marie Jones, she was in the movie. Nicole Ari Parker, she was in it. It was a number of different people who was in this movie. And the movie was pretty much based around people who are 35 years old and over, and some people are going through a lot of relationship issues, never been married. Some are currently married, trying to figure out, do they want to continue to be married, making different decisions in life. Even the guy who played Eddie Winslow on Family Matters, he was in the movie. It was a funny movie, and I actually did like this movie. Well, Kevin Hart, he played this role where he was an unemployed guy who was getting money by going to the sperm bank and giving donations on a regular basis. So that actually was kind of funny. Again, it wasn't his stand-up comedy, it was a role that he played. And Lunel, who is one of my favorite female comedians, I really, really like Lunel. She's just real with it, honest, and she played somebody who worked in the sperm clinic. And you just have to watch the movie, guys. If you've never seen this movie, then check it out. If you've seen it before, let me know in the comment section and you'll know what I'm talking about. But it really was funny. But Kevin Hart in his comedy style is just not my cup of tea, so I've just never found him to be a funny person. Well, a lot of people were talking about some comments that he made about his daughter having whole-like activities, and this is what he said. She's 15 years old. So in the special, apparently he's talking about this, and he says that he had to call a few of his either former whole friends or they're currently holes. I didn't really get that part, but either way, he contacted these supposed, his words, holes that he has on speed dial still, and he's a married man who has cheated on his wife in the past. Well, he's cheated on the first wife and he cheated on the second wife, so he's definitely a cheater. I wouldn't say he's reformed. He may not have done it in a while, but he's definitely a cheater, okay? He calls these women and shares some of the activities that she, his daughter, has going on, and they, tell him whether or not she's acting like a hole or not. Like, these are his words. It's crazy, but I guess when you are trying to come up with material that's based on your real life, you may go to some places that are just like, it may seem inappropriate, but it may come out later where people understand it and they laugh at it. Some people may think it's funny, but a lot of people really didn't think it's funny. I personally don't think that's funny, especially being that, one, you're talking about your daughter. She's 15 years old. She's got friends who are aware of your comedy. They're going to know. And to have something like that stated, that can be very embarrassing. And that's just not something that you do. And secondly, this daughter is the daughter who was from his first marriage. And let's just be clear, he made a lot of his money over his come up years talking about his marriage and his wife in a not so good light in his stand-up comedy routines. And, a lot of people thought that was funny. I never thought it was funny, but I guess, he's using his material, and if that's the truth, then okay, whatever. But it's almost like you're doing the same thing to your daughter that you did to her mom. And that's just not cool. And that's how I saw it. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but you let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section. Well, he also says in the title, 0 F's given, which he also had a t-shirt on his daughter with the same thing, the baby that he has with his now second wife. It's just very inappropriate. But again, he says 0 F's given. He clearly gives a lot of F's because people have been making comments and he's been just not silent and quiet about it. He's making his money, so in my opinion, it's like, well, if you're really happy and you truly don't give an F, like you just said in the title of your Netflix special, then why are you making these videos and talking about people and responding to tweets when people are saying things that you don't like? Well, Tariq Nasheed, on his Twitter account, he tweeted about it. He said, I like Kevin Hart, real cool guy, but his new Netflix stand-up special, 0 F's given, was not, in capitals, funny. I had to just cut it off after 10 minutes. Well, he did not at Kevin Hart. He did hashtag Netflix. He hashtags 0 F's given, but he didn't at Kevin Hart. I don't know if one of Tariq's followers sent it to Kevin Hart. I don't know. Maybe Kevin Hart follows Tariq and saw it. I don't know. But he responded. And his response, here we go. Please remind me why your feedback should matter again. I think I've done pretty well for myself by doing this comedy that's not funny. Good luck to you and whatever it is that you do, though. Power to the people. Okay, clearly Kevin Hart gives an F. He cares. He's pressed, okay? And then he wants to be sarcastic in his narcissistic way of saying good luck to you and whatever it is that you do, though. Narcissistic shade, okay? Because he's saying, I think I've done pretty well for myself doing this comedy that's not funny, but good luck to you and whatever it is that you do, though. Power to the people. So look, I don't follow Tariq Nasheed. I just don't follow him, but I just know of him because he is somebody that does a lot of commentary about things regarding the African American community and people who are descendants of, slaves. So for Kevin Hart to make the statement power to the people, that was definitely a condescending remark. He knew exactly what he was doing by saying that. And his little feelings were hurt, so he wanted to try to hurt somebody else's feelings, albeit he tried to hurt Tariq Nasheed's feelings, which I really don't think Tariq really cares. I don't think stuff like that really bothers him. But it was just funny how sensitive Kevin Hart is being all around this 0 F's given. It is such a contradiction. It is a huge contradiction to say you really don't care, but you're acting out that you actually do. So I just find it very ironic. This is something that I actually do find funny. This is funny to me, okay? I don't know how you guys feel about it. You can let me know your thoughts about it in the comments, but this clearly is something that he is pressed by, he is bothered by. He gives all the F's about this. So to say 0 F's given, I don't know if somebody else titled this special for him, not knowing his character and not knowing how he was going to respond if this was something that did not get a lot of critical acclaim and great reviews. But some comments that he made about evolving and how, of course, listen, not everybody is everyone's cup of tea. Not everybody is going to like everything. Everything isn't for everybody. You're not going to be able to please all of the people at any time, not even all of the time. You're never going to be able to please everybody. So you can't even live your life that way. But I do believe that a number of people, especially in the African American community, do feel that Kevin Hart is more sensitive when it comes to offending others versus when it comes to offending people who are Black. Because let's just be real. When he got called out for some past tweets that he made that people were stating it was homophobic, when he was announced to be the host of the Oscars, and these tweets were found out about, and they really went in to get him removed as the host, and they succeeded. He was coming out apologizing, even if he felt the way that he felt, and him just being honest and saying, look, this is the way I felt. Like, he came out and he was just apologizing. And then when it comes to this, I don't believe that he shows that same type of care. And that's sad, because they, there's an old saying, they say the same people that you meet on your way up are the same ones that you're going to meet going down. I'm not saying that he owes his life to the African American community, but let's just be honest. How many white people back in the day were watching Soul Plane? How many people were watching 35 and Ticking? How many people were watching him when he was hosting a comedy show that used to be on BET back in the day? Let's just be honest. So now that he is on the level of The Rock and a number of other people who have that notoriety and recognition of an A-list celebrity, it's like he just really doesn't give a damn. I will say he doesn't give a damn, but he is pressed. He does give some F's about the African American community. So when he came out and made this comment about his daughter and saying that people were talking about it and they didn't really care about, Black women, this was just ridiculous. Like, no, I think some people really do feel that way. And I kind of feel that way when it comes to him making those comments about his daughter. Not just the fact that it is disparaging because she is your daughter and this is the person who should be the one to train her up in the way she should be treated by a man. So to have your father, to have your dad, the man who's supposed to love you and train you and teach you and guide you on how a man should treat you when you get to that space in life of being treated by, your significant other the right way, to have your dad saying, yeah, you have whole tendencies, you're acting like a hoe. Like, what? There's a way to say things, and I get it. This was supposed to be a stand-up comedy thing, so of course this isn't a training session for your daughter, but that could have just been left out. If you don't really have much other material to pull from or to create, you're not really that creative, then maybe you shouldn't be doing stand-up comedy. Like, just do the acting roles where the scripts are written for you, because that is not something that's on you. You're just following the script, right? But to do these stand-up comedy gigs, and hey, maybe you don't write your own stuff. Maybe somebody's writing your stuff. And that could be the case too, guys, because I'm just going to be real. I know that there are definitely comedians who have stolen content from other comedians, and there are also comedians who have people write their stuff. So maybe he doesn't write his own stuff. I don't know. But what I am saying is that he definitely is coming across as really pressed, giving a lot of F's, and pretty narcissistic. And just to wrap this conversation up, I just don't really care for him. It's not even just I don't find him to be a funny comedian. I just don't care for his character and personality and what he has presented to the public. I'm just going off of what he has presented to the public. And recently it came out that the friend of his who was charged with a crime against Kevin Hart was found that there really is no evidence to that fact. Kevin Hart was basically allegedly saying that his friend, or what we should say now former friend, set him up to get inebriated and get him caught on camera cheating on his wife. And that was not true. And they charged this guy, but they essentially had to drop the charges. And recently his former friend and attorney, they were interviewed on another channel. I believe the channel is called Comedy Hype. But I'll put a link to that video in the description box, guys. And I'll try to put it in the comment section as well, so you can check it out if you have not seen that interview. But anybody who would sell their friend out, or just even sell anybody out for the sake of trying to protect your image, trying to save your marriage, trying to, just save yourself when you were in the wrong, and you would do something like that to somebody where they were actually criminally charged, like, this could have ruined this person's life. And it may have already been ruined. We already know how it is, guys. When somebody gets charged and arrested, they could have been, they could have had the charges dropped, or they could have been found not guilty or whatever. But sometimes just those charges alone are enough to damage and ruin somebody's life and livelihood. So I don't really know what the situation is at the moment. I don't know if this guy intends on coming after Kevin Hart financially to sue him for any damages, but we shall see, because I believe that this is yet to evolve to the place where it's going to be. But just hearing those things alone, and the fact that he cheated on both of his wives, he's just not a really good character. And that accident that he was in, I do believe that there's a lot of information that may never come out, but I do believe that a lot of information that was not disclosed about that accident, it was just very, very weird. I think some other things was going on besides him just joyriding with his personal trainer and the personal trainer's wife, and then they wound up getting in this terrible car accident where he was injured horribly, and so were the other people. I think that there was a lot more to that. And the type of character that he has portrayed of being pretty narcissistic and a liar and a cheater, I just don't like the guy. So I'm just giving you my personal opinion on him. So I could give 0 Fs about him. But I just wanted to share my views on all of this stuff. I just really feel that it's kind of ironic and this to say that he really doesn't care, but he's been just sharing his views on the people caring so much about him not caring and about his Netflix special and about him not being funny. He really is pressed. He really cares. And he just wants you to like him, guys. So do you like Kevin Hart? But I'm just kidding. Like, seriously, you guys let me know your thoughts about this crazy situation in the comments section. And we'll just get into it there.